And the second fight on the card here, we got Ricky Turcios taking on Bernardo Sopaj. And this is a tricky fight if you ask me. I think Sopaj is a great prospect. He's young, athletic. He trains at a good gym. You could tell he's dedicated, he's polished. But the issue is he just hasn't had much experience. The majority of his fights are easy and quick finishes. He's been a decision, but the decisions he's gone to have been close. He lost one of those decisions. He also got finished in round three of his last fight. Ricky Turcios is a fighter who is hard to deal with when you're a young fighter just gaining experience because you're never going to be able to duplicate his style. He has a lot of high level experience himself. Turcios definitely has fought the harder guys. So if he could push the pace and get Sopaj lost in the chaos, I think it could be a lot closer than the line indicates. You look at Ricky Turcios, super flawed, but he still brings good attributes. On the feet, he's almost exclusively kicks. He's not afraid to throw kicks early and often to all parts of the body. Takedown defense, I would say, is virtually non existent. He doesn't really worry about being put on his back. He more uses the takedowns to create scrambles, but his hands aren't good at all. He kind of just stays out of boxing range, tries to be elusive, weird with his movements, throw a jab out there, try to land counter check hooks, but he's not going to be someone that wants to be in the pocket exchanging punches. Um, he can kind of make for boring stand up fights because he stays way out of range and you'll just be missing kicks and kind of not engaging. But he'll lull fighters to sleep with that and then time takedowns. And he's not the best wrestler, but he can get fights to the ground. And even if he makes you shoot on him and creates a scramble, he's fine with doing that as well. Really funky on the mat. He gets you tired and then he starts to take over. And Sopaj can get sucked into that vortex with Turcios because Turcios just has more experience there. It did backfire for him his last fight. He ended up, creating a lot of scrambles with Raul Rosas. He actually got to Raul Rosas' back and was really close to choking him out with the rear naked, but he ended up not finishing that choke and got his own back taken and got choked out. So that time it didn't work out for him, but he's beaten guys like Dan Argueta, Kevin Natividad, Ludwig Sholinian, Brady Heistand. All those fighters are credentialed wrestlers. And cardio is big for Turcios. He needs to be active. He needs to throw a lot of kicks. If he has to take a shot or two, then I think he can because he has a chin, and then he has to wrestle. And style-wise, if Sopaj stays technical behind the jab and picks his punches, we have seen Turcios have some issues with that style, like Boston Salmon, Mata Martinez, Eamon Zahabi. Those guys are able to beat him, but it's been a couple of years since he's fought a striker, and he's been at Team Alpha Male for this camp, so he's getting a different look, some solid training, mixing it up, and we'll see if that pays dividends for him, but Bernardo Sopaj, solid stand-up fighter. He has good pressure. He has hard leg kicks, good counter puncher, cuts the cage off. He backs you up. He's pretty good with his accuracy. He hits hard. In this fight, I think he has to attack the legs and the body early, slow the movement of Turcios, and then try to back him up and go to work because he doesn't have a high volume style or combination style. Tends to rely on one-shot attacks a lot, and fighters that move and don't stay in front of him give him issues because he doesn't really set up and land a lot of offense against guys when they're moving a lot. He wants you to stay in front of him. So if he can't get his leg kicks going early, I think he might struggle to land a lot. But if he's able to back Turcios up and get him in the phone booth, then he's going to have a big edge there. And, I don't think he's the biggest guy. I feel like that's a problem for him. He's going to have a decent reach disadvantage in this fight. And his cardio did look bad versus Oliveira. It led to his loss. He did take the fight on short notice, but he doesn't have very many fights where he pushes the pace. So I just feel like his cardio is probably not the best. And his kicking defense isn't the greatest either. I feel like the stand-up can be competitive in this fight. Sopaj can grapple. He has good takedowns. He has good back takes. I think he will be able to get takedowns here, but it's going to come down if he can control Turcios or take his back and submit him like Rosas, or he gets tired scrambling and then Turcios takes over like usual. Sopaj also got brutally KO'd his last fight, so we don't know where his head is at entering here. And with Turcios, you can't say like the weight cut is maybe an issue because he's a big guy for the weight. You look at his last fight with Bernardo, the fight got canceled on weigh-ins day. I think it was a problem with him cutting down. So hopefully he's able to make the weight and, you know, not have to move up now that he's getting a little bit older. But I'm going to lean with the underdog here. I'm going to go with Turcios. I think his career could be on the line, and he has what it takes to make it weird, gas out, beat a young prospect who hasn't fought in a while. He's coming off a devastating knockout loss, Sopaj. So Sopaj isn't super high volume. I think he could struggle with the kicks of Turcios. I think he may force wrestling, end up getting himself tired. And I think the line should be closer. I feel like, there's a fraud check alert here for Bernardo Sopaj. Not that he can't get better and become a great fighter, and I do think he's UFC level, but he's fighting these, not upper echelon, but high level guys early on in his career, and I just don't know if he has the experience to back that up and beat someone like Ricky Turcios. So I feel like Ricky Turcios is live here and can get the job done. So give me Ricky Turcios to win this fight here.